Hi. Well, a sit down video from me. That's crazy. I wanted to tell you about my fall, September, and October favorites because I've seen multiple videos of this concept and I'm loving watching them. So I thought I'd do my own. So here I am. I have this little notebook that I use for everything. There are random research things in here. There are performances that I've seen, to-do lists. There's summaries of Wuthering Heights and Frankenstein of every chapter and my favorite quotes from every chapter. It's crazy. But yeah, I've written down multiple things in multiple categories. So we'll start with media. And first, I'll just talk about music because I love music. First, I wrote down Laufey's A Matter of Time because that album came out recently and it's so good. Like, it's jazzy, it's film music, I love it so much. And the fact that it's not only like just the basic instruments, but it's like a whole orchestra, that's crazy. So that album is so good. And also I'm seeing Laufey on tour next year in February. I'm so excited. That's only like 3 months away. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm seeing her live. And then I have Conan Gray's Wishbone. I have the CD right here because this album is so good. It made me fall in love with Conan Gray because I didn't really listen to his music, to be honest, but then this album came out and I've been obsessed, and I'm also going to see him next year. My friend and I got tickets and we're so excited because imagine hearing this live. Imagine hearing Connell live or Nosh's live or Actor live or any of the songs. It's crazy. So yeah, I loved this album this month and last month and I still love it. So then I have just in general the Fleet Foxes, but more specifically Tiger Mountain Peasant Song. I learned to play that on the guitar not too long ago and I'm obsessed. It's so beautiful and they write such beautiful music. So yeah, that's been definitely one of my go-tos when I want to listen to some music. Then I have Stereophonic, which is from a play. So it's just the soundtrack of the play, but the music was written for the play and it's so good. It's fully inspired by like Fleetwood Mac and I love it. I love Fleetwood Mac, so Stereophonic was a perfect play, and I saw it in September of this year on the West End because it was playing and we randomly bought tickets. I didn't know anything about the show, only that it was about a music band. So yeah, it's crazy that we saw that and then I fell in love with the music. And also, fun fact, I was dressed exactly the same as the people on stage. It was crazy. I had like flared pants and this beige top that looked like Daisy Jones and the Six. Like, I was in sync. And then I have Sam Fender's People Watching. That whole album is so good, but specifically just the song People Watching. I love that song. When I walk somewhere, I put it on and I go twice the speed that I normally go at and I walk very fast. So I just love that song. It makes, I don't know what it does. It just does something and I love it so much. So yeah, People Watching by Sam Fender has been on repeat. And then I have some soundtracks that I wanted to share because I've been studying and reading a lot. So I've been listening to a lot of soundtracks because they don't have lyrics for the most part. So first, I've been listening to Normal People since I've watched the show like 2 years ago, I think. I've been obsessed with the music. It's my go-to album when I want to study. When I'm in the library, you can guaranteed hear me listening to this. And it's so good. I got it on vinyl because I just love it so much. So yeah, Normal People. And then I've been listening to a lot of Little Women because this music is just so pretty. It's so happy, but there are some sad songs in there as well. But it just feels like Little Women, you know? When I listen to it, I just imagine the whole movie. And it's beautiful. And it's amazing to study to because it gives me motivation to actually keep going. because who doesn't want to be a writer like Jo March? Like, sitting on the floor with like 1,000 pages spread around you, writing with pen and ink, like, yes, please. And lastly, this soundtrack does have lyrics, but I've been listening to it while reading because it isn't like profound like lyrics. It's more jazzy vibes, and it's the soundtrack Anyway the Wind Blows. It's a Belgian movie, actually, so that's cool because I'm Belgian. And it's amazing. Like, the songs are so vibey, and it's amazing to just put on as a CD in the background. And I found this in my parents' CD collection, and I just kind of stole it, so now it's mine. So that was all for my music category. So let's move on to films. So for films, I've been rewatching my all-time favorite movies for the fall and just in general. So first, I watched Dead Poets Society, which is like one of my favorite movies ever. I'm taking a poetry class this semester, so I've been feeling all the vibes, you know? On that same note, well, the same vibe, Good Will Hunting. I don't know, Matt Damon in that movie is so good. And just any movie with Robin Williams is just amazing. Like, you can't go wrong. The next movie is Cha Cha Real Smooth. This is a movie by Cooper Raiff, and it stars Vanessa, I can't remember her last name, and then Dakota Johnson and Cooper Raiff, and some other people, but I kind of forgot. But I love that movie so much. It's such a heartbreaking movie, such a beautiful movie. It's about a mother, and she has a daughter with autism, and it's about a guy who Cooper plays. I forgot his name. Anyways, and he's still young, he's in his 20s, he's figuring things out. He works like low paid jobs, and he's a party starter at bat mitzvahs. That's where the two characters meet, and you know, it talks a lot about the importance of your 20s and figuring things out, because your 20s are confusing. So I love that movie so much, and the cinematography is absolutely beautiful. So yeah. And lastly, any Tim Burton movie. I have 2 on DVD right here, my 2 faves, but actually I love all Tim Burton movies. I specifically also like Edward Scissorhands. I don't know what that movie does, but it's so good, and it's so sad and so beautiful. But I have The Corpse Bride and The Nightmare Before Christmas right here, because these 2 are near and dear to my heart. I've been a Tim Burton fan for like 8 years, I think. So since I was like 12, I've been loving his movies. That was all the films. Now for the last category within media, we have books, of course. So I'm gonna start off with The Coin by Jasmine Zahir. This is the book club pick from Inklings from September. I absolutely love this book. This is a very weird novel. It's about a woman who is from Palestine and who moves to the US, and it's about her story figuring out how to live in the US and how to handle her job. She's a teacher, and how she kind of has problems with the existing structure of schools and of just life in general. And so it's very interesting. There are some weird scenes in here, but I thought it was very cool to read. It's different from anything I've ever read, so that's good. And then I have Through the Arc of the Rainforest. This is a book that we had to read for school, but that I think about still, and I read it like a month ago, and I don't know what it was with this book, but it really intrigued me. This is a book that I wouldn't probably have found if I didn't have to read it for school. I really enjoyed it. This was fully in the genre that I normally read and what I love, and I also annotated the book quite a lot. I wrote in the book, I underlined, I tabbed, and we had like some lectures about this book, and they were so interesting. This is definitely my favorite book so far that I've had to read for school this semester. So yeah, this is by Karen T. Yamashita. And then I have the amazing Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. This book changed me as a reader. Like, I read Swimming in the Dark, which refers to Giovanni's Room like a lot, and people say that it's quite similar, and I do agree. This is about David, who is in Paris in the 1950s waiting for his fiancée to return home, but then he meets Giovanni, a bartender, and yeah, they spark something, and it's amazing. It's so good. I also underlined so much in this book, and yeah, I just loved it so much. James Baldwin's writing is absolutely phenomenal. I want to read so much more by him. So yeah, that's probably what I'll do when I have some time to read again. And then I have this beautiful little novel by Frederick Bachman. It's called And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. And it's very tiny. Like, you can read it in probably like 2 hours or 1 hour. It's a little story about a grandpa losing his memory and talking to his grandson because he doesn't really want to forget. And it's about the process of slowly forgetting little details that are very dear to you. And there are also some beautiful illustrations in here. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I want to reread it quite soon, even though I just read it. But I feel like it's something that you have to read multiple times to notice the little details that you might have missed. So, and then I have a random romance novel that I've seen quite a lot and that I was hesitant to pick up because I haven't really enjoyed like romance novels recently. I've been very much into literary fiction and not much like romance and cheesy stuff. I just don't enjoy it anymore. But I picked up If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia, and this is a fat book. It's like over 500 pages, and for a romance novel, that's a lot. But I loved this book. I've been rewatching Gilmore Girls, and this gives exactly Gilmore Girls vibes. It's about Michelle, who has to take over her parents' inn that they had in a small town in Vermont because the mother died and the father doesn't want to like take it over by himself. Michelle has to take over for a while because her sister Sarah is still in school and Michelle wants Sarah to finish her degree. So she moves to the small town and she just got out of a divorce. So it is very much small town vibes. It's single dad trope, but like a good single dad trope because I don't really enjoy single dad, but this was amazing. And it really gives like, Cliff kind of gives like, Cliff is the guy, he gives like Lorelai Gilmore vibes, and it was so cozy, and I flew through this book, and it was a good palate cleanser in between more heavy novels. So yeah. And then I have the Six of Crows duology. I don't have it with me actually because it's at home and I'm in my dorm, but I love the Six of Crows duology. It's my favorite fantasy series of all time. I can confidently say that, and I've read a lot of fantasy series, so I don't know what it was about it, but just the relationships, the dynamic, the friend group, it was so amazing. I loved it. And I was scared to read it because I didn't really enjoy Shadow and Bone that much. But Six of Crows is so much better. It's so good. And the show is also amazing. So, yeah. That were all the books that I've been reading and that I've loved recently. So now let's move on to our last category, which is miscellaneous stuff. So I wrote down crocheting scarves because I've been crocheting. I've never crocheted before, and then I just started doing it randomly 2 weeks ago, and I've crocheted 2 whole scarves in 2 weeks, which is probably not a lot, but I had never crocheted. But one I made for my friend, and the other one I made for myself, and this is, you can't really see, but it's like all purple colors, purple, pink, dark blue, and it's very cozy. It's a thin scarf because I was kind of running out of wool, but this is not very pretty like this, but yeah, it's very cozy. Then I wrote down research on random topics, and the topics are not that random because I have to write my bachelor thesis, so I've been doing research on that, but I've been fully like going ham with reading for my bachelor thesis, which is great. But I've been reading about mourning because that's what I'm going to write my thesis about, the importance of a mourning process. So I've been reading Performing Mourning by He Goals. This was amazing. It's a Belgian researcher, and he wrote this whole book about mourning, and more specifically in dance, but it was very relevant for what I wanted to write about. So this is one, and then I'm currently reading the new Black Mourning, Melancholia and Depression, which is also amazing, and it's been so interesting, and I've learned so much about grief and mourning, which is crazy. And I've read tons of papers, which have also been very interesting. So yeah, I've been loving research. And I've been getting so many pastries. It's actually bad, but I love pastries so much. Just like chocolate croissants or like any other pastry, really. I love them all. And I've been getting them a lot, which is bad. But they're always so good and they look so good and they're quite cheap. So I just buy them when I'm a little bit hungry. So yeah, I should probably quit eating so many pastries, but it's hard because they're so good. The last thing I wrote down is late night library visits because I have so much reading to do, so much research, so much schoolwork, exams, that I've just been in the library or in my dorm at my desk late at night studying. And I've also been quite enjoying it. Mostly the library visits when I go there with a friend or something and we just sit there for a few hours and just study and lock in. That's amazing. And the feeling of getting things done is amazing. So yeah, that was the last thing that I've been loving this fall. That was all. And I hope you enjoyed. Let me know some of your favorite things that you've been reading, listening, watching, or just doing in general this fall, so I can get some inspiration because I'm kind of stuck, to be honest. Just want to watch Gilmore Girls and be in bed, but you have to pull through and work for school and still live and do fun things as well. So I hope you enjoyed this random sit down video. It was very different from what I've done before, but I hope you enjoyed it still. And there will be more vlogs, I hope, in the future because I love just randomly vlogging my days.